Ladies and gentlemen, the president of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Where is he, Mr. Dana White? Let's go! Come on, Tony Robbins, baby! Let's go, right? I said we saw Tony Robbins last night. Get up, get in your state of mind. Get up, get up, get up. Dana, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing great. You know,
I'm not going to do any crazy Tony Robbins stuff up here today.
No, that's okay. You know, you're making history this month.
Yeah?
There's something big happening.
Yeah, I'm excited. You know, I didn't realize how big UFC 100 was going to be until...
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, what am I doing other than that?
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday, yeah, that's true.
He's gonna turn 40! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Oh, keep singing. Come on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Turning 40.
I'm ready for it.
The man who caged pain. That's awesome. You want to say it? You want to stand? What do you want to do?
I don't care. Whatever you want to do.
Okay, let's talk about something you're extremely passionate about. Golf.
I hate golf.
Got off to a good start. How's your game? No, look, what did we see up here? Describe for me what we saw. And when you see that and you hear that, what goes through your head?
I think that, you know, over the last 9 years, me and my partners have gone out and basically educated everybody on what the UFC is, what a UFC athlete is. And then, like this Saturday, we'll go out and put on all the bells and whistles, and we sell the tickets, and we do all the hype. And then the athletes, the fighters, get in there and do what they do. And they're the reason that this is the most exciting sport in the world and the fastest growing sport in the world.
You believe that passionately, don't you?
No, it's a fact. It's a fact.
There's no counter argument to that.
We, if you think about what we've accomplished in 9 years and how big it is moving into all these other countries and all the things that are happening, and I mentioned about a month ago that we're working on a deal right now that's going to take this thing to a whole other level. It's over. Once we get this next deal done that we're working on right now, and I know for a fact we're going to get this deal done. It's over. It's there. And for this event here, you know, we've been trying to, the three no-brainers for me were the United States, Mexico, and the UK. Three big fight countries. I never saw Canada coming. I never realized Canada would be as big as it is. Canada's like a mecca for this thing right now.
Canada! Oh, Canada!
You see what I'm telling you, man? You guys are lunatics. I love it. You're everywhere. It's awesome. The Canadians are incredible. I never expected it to be that big. We've been trying to break into Mexico now for 9 years, and it's tough to navigate down there. We finally did. We're UFC 100 will air on Televisa, which is the biggest network in Mexico, free this Saturday to over 100 million homes in Mexico. We also just did a deal in China, you know, hundreds of millions of homes, and the whole global thing is happening a lot faster than I thought it would. And like I was saying, if you imagine how big we are right now, and everybody says how big it is. We haven't even scratched the surface of how big this thing is going to be in the United States, let alone the rest of the world, because the reality is we're not even close to being mainstream yet.
You know what's amazing? You really can't blow something up like you're talking about until you get the biggest audience possible. Right. And one way to do that is you need a female audience. How did you break through? How did you make it so that they would buy tickets and go to this event? How'd you do that?
I'd love to tell you that I'm so smart. I came up with this great plan to bring female viewers in, and I didn't. This was a no-brainer for me. Males 18 to 34, that's who I was catering to. Much like Canada, I didn't see the female thing coming. Women got into it. You know how many people I meet where the husbands will say, my wife got me into this. You know, it happens all the time. I didn't see that coming. It's awesome.
Well, that's a great takeaway for business people too. You know, you don't have to know everything, do you?
No.
You just go.
God
right?
knows I don't know everything.
But you go. Let's go back a little bit, okay? I don't know if a lot of people know this. Prior to the Ultimate Fighting Championship, he was a successful businessman right here in Las Vegas. He was an aerobics instructor and owner. Did everybody know that? Oh, you did know that?
Like
okay.
one guy.
Why did you get into that business?
Well, I wasn't really in the aerobics business. I taught boxing.
You ran, okay.
Yeah, I taught boxing, and I taught a boxing class. And I own 3 gyms.
Right.
So I've been involved in boxing since I was 19, and you know, that was part of the deal.
Yeah, and then you saw something happening on pay-per-view that I guess piqued your interest?
No, not at all. No, I bumped into a UFC fighter named John Lewis one night at the Hard Rock. Frank Fertitta and I, one of my partners, and Frank actually said, you know what, I've always wanted to learn ground fighting. And I said, me too. So we went over, we talked to John Lewis, and we set up an appointment to train with him in jiu-jitsu on Monday. And we invited Lorenzo. The 3 of us took a jiu-jitsu class, and that was it. And I tell people it's like taking the red pill in the Matrix. It opened my eyes to a whole new world, became addicted to it, started to meet some of the fighters, and I said, man, this thing's really interesting. I fell in love with it. Started managing Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz. Got into this huge contract battle with the old owner of the UFC, and then found out they were going out of business and they were done. So Frank and Lorenzo were in Miami at the time, and I called them and I said, the UFC might be for sale. I think we should buy it. And a month later, we owned it.
And things just went swimmingly after that. As the rest is history, right?
Yeah.
Pay-per-view went through the roof.
Yeah.
The fights were fantastic. The best fight cards ever, right? Tell me that's the truth, right?
You know, people say it's amazing, you know, what you've done in the last 9 years. It's only been 9 years. It feels like 90 years to me. You know, we were $44 million in the hole at one point,
right,
and it looked like this thing was going to get shut down more than once.
As a matter of fact, did you not pick up the phone? If I read my notes right, you picked up the phone and said, should we sell this thing?
No. Lorenzo called me.
Oh, he called you.
Yeah.
You were still the believer.
Yeah, no, those 2 were spending all the money. So Lorenzo called me and said, I can't keep doing this. You know, we're at that time, I think we were 30-something in the hole. And he says, I can't keep doing this. Get out on the streets and see what you can get for this thing right now. So I was on the phone all day making calls. I called him that night and said, I know I can get $4 million for it, maybe 6. And he said, I'll call you in the morning. So I knew for a fact it was over.
Yeah.
I told our attorney that night, this thing's getting shut down, it's over. And the next morning, Lorenzo called me and said, fuck it. Keep going. Let's keep doing it. So,
he said the heck with it?
Yep, the heck with it. Let's
Excellent.
keep going. So we kept going, and thank God.
Well, how did you make the turn? Because just because a guy says, no, we're keeping it, it's only $4 million, let's go. You had to do something. I mean, either mentally
Well,
or...
we were
how'd
already
you
there.
do it?
I think, you know, we were already on the right path. It was growing. Things were happening. It was just a matter of, you know, those guys, you know, having the cojones to keep it going and keep dropping the money into it, because there's no guarantee that that money was ever going to come back or that this thing was ever going to work. You know, I was already, to say that to say that I could possibly work any harder than I already was not, I mean, we really, and this is, I'm not bullshitting you guys, we didn't sleep at all. I didn't sleep for 2 years. And, you know, we just kept plugging along. I always believed in this thing. I knew that once we could get this thing to the masses, I felt people would love it. And the hardest part was, you got to understand this, to get this thing on free television, when we bought this company, it wasn't allowed on pay-per-view. Porn is on pay-per-view.
No, it's not, is it?
The UFC was not allowed on pay-per-view. And our goal was to get it on free television, which everybody said was impossible.
Right.
There's no way, they won't even let it on pay-per-view. There's no way that this thing will make it onto free television.